I want to say, first of all, I'm going to start with a thank you. I want to thank you because you were one of the first guys, along with like No Life Shack, Alex, Tank, Charismatic Voice, that I
Hmm.
started watching as a reaction channel. So it kind of made me want to like, well, fuck, man. If I see these guys doing it, it's like I could tell I like metal too. I can do it, and that kind of made me want to even start the channel. So thanks, dude. It's like one of the guys that kind of made it seem very casual.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff. Like I know a lot of people think usually it's just reaction stuff because that's what a lot of things are now and what a lot of people see. But like, yeah, I've done like guitar covers and all that stuff for like ever. And yeah, because reactions are fun. It's just fun, easy, chill medium. Just share music, talk about it, do commentary, and yeah, biggest asset for those is just for you to be yourself, really.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember actually first seeing your covers and like all the other content you were creating, like the playing a song faster than before. And then I wanted to ask you, I've always been interested to hear very different answers from people. Is why even like what made you want to even start the channel? Is to show your like guitar skills or you had an intention from the beginning?
It was originally to share my original music actually, just because I
Yeah.
used to only post on SoundCloud, and then I was just like, well, yeah, like, I like learning songs, so let's just do that. And then, I became the fast cover guy or whatever for a little bit, and then just did that for so long. I started branching out, but yeah, it was just to share original music. I knew I liked, music. I like learning songs, so that's literally it. I just wanted to kind of mess around and see what came of that.
Oh, so you really want, yeah, it's nice to see because I kind of came in with honestly 0 months of planning. I'm like, fuck it, let me just try it. It's nice to see that you had this kind of intention from the beginning. It's like I want people to hear my music, which by the way
Yeah,
has
well, yeah, like there was intention, but at the same time, it was like I'm just kind of doing this for fun.
yeah,
It wasn't like
yeah.
I didn't think it was going to grow into anything. I just was doing it because it was just something to do most. And I was like, all right, well, let's see what happens. But I never thought it would be like a career or anything like that.
And you also started at a time where I think everything was a lot more up in the air. You never knew what was going to happen, where way it was going to go. Your channel could be like shut down just for the smallest, stupidest reason.
Yeah, and also it wasn't like a career then. Like still, like it wasn't like, oh, go be a YouTuber, go be a streamer. That wasn't like a thing.
That wasn't a thing.
Not even then. Like it was like there were some people at the top making a decent amount of money, but that was kind of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very select few. And then, I started kind of I keep up with all the top reaction channels and Tank and everything. And I saw you guys talking about and you kind of commenting on the Fox News reaction stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I thought you were so funny, kind of entertaining about it, but at the same time, it was a little bit calming to know
Right.
that even me being in the early stages, that you guys go through the same shit at this point as you did in the beginning. It's like nothing's changed. It's still like this like
Yeah, I mean it's a path. It takes a bit to learn and get used to, but it's a weird thing. It's a whole weird thing, and I think mainstream media is finally trying to get into it, and like you know the industry is starting to get into it because it's just a good place for marketing. Like we're part of the PR marketing thing now. Like they PR hits up blogs, radio, and they hit up reactors now, which is interesting. So they just found the kind of see the importance of it when it comes to marketing. So that's when people pay attention. Whenever there was like, wait, we can make money out of this, that's when people pay attention. So
yeah, it became like the new wave of PR, so to say. But
yeah.
it's definitely like a lot of people kind of pushing the front in the beginning with it. And I got to be honest, I was one of those people.
Hmm.
I saw you doing the comment, and you were kind of always almost making fun of people like who don't understand your personality.
Yeah, yeah.
And you were like, "Well, I'm sorry if you don't have emotions." And I sat there and I started laughing, like, "Fuck!" I was one of those people who was like, "Man, reactions are dumb. Why would you
Yeah.
even watch one?" And then as time went on, right? It's like,
Yeah, I thought they were stupid too at first. I was like, why would you do that? And then I was just like, oh, it's just like when you same feeling you give when you show your friend like something really cool that you like and you want to see what their reaction is. It's like, oh, okay. Like that made sense. And it was just yeah, it was a good way to share music and comment on things without having to do a guitar cover, especially if a song doesn't have much guitar in it. So I was like, all right, well, let's try to do this. And yeah, it's a fun medium in that sense. And I'm just sitting there doing my thing, having fun, enjoy it. And if people want to go with it, great. If not, no worries. There's other content. And that's also the thing is like to me, like reaction content is like filler for me. Cause like I have usually my Monday videos, which are a different video. I have commentary based stuff. I have music. Like that's the thing. If it was just like, yo, Nick, okay, we only want to hear original music, like that's no problem. But I'm uploading like once a month. Then like that's the difference. Is like I
Yeah,
whereas
yeah.
like that's why I like filling it in with reactions or something like that or commentary because it's like I can then keep up the pace and I want to and it's exciting to create. Because if not, then it would just be like people waiting for me to just upload music, which is cool too. But like again, it's like you still get that. It's just it takes a couple months usually before it's done, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it helps fill, like I said, fill the void, keep you relevant at the same time. People, when I see some of your fans, like I did a reaction to your music, and fans really come out strong. It's like, man, he's so talented. They really come out with love. They really seen you progress
Hmm.
from when you were in the beginning, and they've seen you grow. And actually, I kind of discovered you with the Slavic metal song.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm a Russian born myself, so that shit. It hit so close to home. I gotta tell you, I was dying the whole time because I feel like a lot of people won't understand all the jokes.
Hmm.
And for me, the slippers and the Adidas, it was like, oh,
That was yeah, it's one of my favorite videos I think I've ever like it also is the biggest video I have on my channel, but yeah, it was one of the funnest I think I've done just because it was there was no rules. It's not like that's the thing. Slavic memes have been done before and things and like DJ Splatman and like fucking like hard bass stuff, but not
yeah.
like in the metal world and metalified. So I was like, let's do that. Let's try to see. So it hasn't really never was done like that before. So it was just fun. There was no rules. I went to like a local park where there was like a playground next to me with kids, and I'm like, yo, I want to get like randomly arrested for being this fucking weirdo in this park,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it was just fun. And Tully's a great vocalist, and yeah, I loved making the song, and it did really, really well, and I was surprised. And we were gonna do Slavic Metal too, but then yeah, it was all done actually. There was just we just needed a
Ah,
guest vote, one of the get waiting for one of the guest vocals and then to film the video, but like it was done. It was supposed to be released in February, and then yeah. So
it never happened yet. Well, I'll be hoping for it. I'll tell you this much. I've also seen kind of personal like growth from you in the music. Because for me personally, I like just seeing people succeed and do cool things. And I've seen you progress in your music and skills, and it's like, man, this guy's getting like more and more serious and just better. And
mm,
it's cool to see with like Termina, with your original stuff, like with industry.
right.
Would you ever release like a full album from like just Nik Nocturnal?
I did. I have like three of those way back when, but that's the thing is like they're older, and then that's before like I did YouTube stuff. Like I was on YouTube, but it wasn't as popular back then. And yeah,
Yeah.
I did like two full lengths and like two EPs, so technically like kind of three albums as a whole, and it's fun. And like I want to do another one eventually, but then it's like I have the like I got to finish up Terminal, I got to do Nick Knock, I want to do these other things, which I think just also are more exciting to me right now
Yeah.
because the Nick Nocturnal stuff was just like instrumental modern metal, and I was like, and I still had like sometimes guest vocalists on some of the songs. I was like, well, okay, now I have a vocalist I can just have for all the songs, like which is Andy, um, and create a style that's more for that. And when it comes to instrumental stuff, just people usually don't care unless it's like this new like neo soul math rock stuff. It seems that's doing really well. Um, so I'm like, yeah, it's like I'm sure I'll do like the third album to complete it like one day when it makes sense to kind of be like, there you go, like that's kind of full circle where it all started from. But I got Termina, I got Nick Knock, I got my project with Phil from 2000s metalcore stuff. So it's like it's all still Nick Knock, like it's me,
Yeah,
writing the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
instrumentals. Well, except for Nick Knock, I'm writing the guitar mainly, and then I work with a producer. But yeah, it's just a different medium of the same. It's like just the next level, I guess, of that stuff that I
Oh,
started with, basically.
like the natural progression of you and
Yeah,
kind of the things you've been doing. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Whereas a lot of people start as instrumental and then they finally got band and they go on tour. It's like, well, I just found a vocalist and I have internet. Like that's Termina. It's basically. It's I always say the first unofficial Termina song is actually a Nick Nocturnal song featuring Andy that we did called Dear Phantom, like way back when in like 2017. That's technically the first unofficial Termina song because it was a similar process of working with Andy. Like I did the instrumental, he did the vocals. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm guessing at that time you guys are probably more self-producing, right?
yeah. I mean, the last album we did together was fully self-produced. This new one is it's still self-produced. It's just I mean, Chris Turner is adding a bit of production too, like ideas, like minor ones here and there, which is great. And then
Hmm.
Zach is mainly mixing and mastering. He's not really producing necessarily. Like he's adding little bass drops and swells and stuff, which is cool. But like the songs are like me and Andy wrote the songs,
The song, yeah, yeah.
and then Chris writes the drums and then adds a little production spice overall here and there too.
Yeah, it helps kind of fill out the CD production so people kind of check it out, you get the full experience. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel that? I feel like the way as an onlooker, because I don't play music. I'm a
Mm.
horrible guitarist. I was like level one. That's kind of where I stopped.
Okay.
The idea of a musician and a content creator that you always have to be posting and staying in the relevant in people's eyes. Do you feel that pressure? That just like, holy shit, I
Uh,
can't stop.
I mean, it's pressure to a point, but it's also just like it's a creative outlet with all those. Like I know a lot of musicians are like, I have to do TikTok, I have to do this, and it's like yeah, like sure, but that's because they feel like they have to do it instead of like, yo, how can I be creative and do something different on the platform that like is a different outlet.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what I do with all my socials, every single social except Instagram and Facebook. I just copy paste each other. Is like usually how can I do something different that's like creatively expansive and I can build off of. So that helps me like not get sick of it. And sometimes when I do feel burnout, it's yeah, that can be a little tough. It's just from doing a lot and not taking a break and just kind of going and keeping up with everything. But then also like I take like sometimes I'll take like a day break and then I'll get back the next day and I'm like let's go. Like I'm excited. Like I've never taken a week off of this actually
Holy
for the entire
shit.
never taken a vacation from
Oh man.
doing this for
Because
8 weeks.
you come off so chill and just
Mm.
kind of relaxed in your videos.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, I get nervous to take a week off. I'm like, fuck, man, I got to prepare content. I got to make sure I got things going. I can't imagine
Right.
at your level with everything that you're doing, the music projects, the different things, the Twitch. I can't imagine that level, like never taking a break, man. You're hard working.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it does get stressful, definitely, but it's also like I try to be realistic with things. It's like, okay, I got to finish this. Well, let's sit down, let's get it done, and try to be reasonable with myself to a point. And when I'm streaming again, that's like chill time. Like right now, my actual days off is my writing day, which is really funny as a musician. Like that's my relaxed day, is I get to write for Termino or like Nik Knock and stuff. It's kind of weird, but yeah, it's I've been doing it for so long that, and I've pushed myself some points to like way too far, like where I was always like a yes man, like let's go, like new opportunity, like sure, let's try it, let's do it, let's take time. And I went so far that I was like, okay, this is even like dumb. Like for me, like I actually can't, like that's not sustainable.
Hmm.
So I dialed it back. Even now, like on YouTube, I only upload really like 3 times a week. I'll still sometimes do 5. It's like, well, there's a lot of stuff coming out and I want to talk about it. And there's, I want to discuss this and it makes sense for content and excites me to do so. But try to stick it to 3 on Twitch. I stream 5 days a week. I post on TikTok now like 3 to 4 times a week. I do Instagram and all that shit at least once a week, and Twitter and all this shit. So it's like, and I still need to finish the next Nik Knock song. I need to finish the next Terminus song, which is also
Jeez.
what I usually do those on the weekend. But even on the weekend, I'm planning my schedule and also doing content and figuring things out. So it's a lot. But it keeps things always going and it keeps new opportunities coming. And I mean, like, whatever, I'm 25. Like, it's if the time to grind, it's now. So I know how far I can push it, try to stay close to the line, but I don't go over, because if I do, then it's not good.
You remind me of I got to interview Dawn of Souls and Wolfheart Tomas from there. He's the
Mm.
lead guy, and he's kind of like you in the sense that this guy I told him, "Do you ever take a break?" He's like, "Why? I enjoy writing."
Yeah.
And he kind of sound the same. It's like, "No, I love doing this. Why the fuck would I take a break?" It's like this is what I love doing, and I'll know when it's too much.
Yeah, and that's also because I've expanded more in a variety based s thing with my content too. Like if it was just like I'm just the reactor to Bring Me the Horizon or something, or like you know what I
Mhm.
mean, like if it's just like very one specific thing, then it's hard to branch off and to have the creative freedom. Whereas like I try to really integrate, like, oh well, I'm doing this anyways, like let's make content out of it. All right, it's like this is what I would do in my free time, like finishing Nik Knock if I have to finish it, and I'm like, all right, well then on my stream that day will be me finishing Nik Knock, and you guys can come, I'll stream on Twitch, and that's the content, right? I don't have to worry about doing something else. It just doesn't make sense overloading sometimes. Same thing with Terminus. It's like, oh, I gotta finish the Terminus song. I've been working on it. I'm doing this in my free time. So like I'll just stream it. Like it's not really necessarily anything crazy, but yeah, it can get definitely it can get overwhelming, but you just gotta ground yourself and find your limits.
It's a little heartbreaking when I sometimes interview like veteran bands and they're telling me they're basically making no money and they're working full-time jobs.
Yeah.
And then this opportunity in our generation that's come up where we use social media platforms to
Mm,
completely make our own music and nobody can stop you anymore. Where if
mm.
you were gated by like a label or something like that, that you're, oh, we don't like your stuff. This is not what we want. You're no longer, there's no more barriers for you.
Yeah.
You want to create music and people love your stuff, they will come out in waves.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's I've always been about being independent in that capacity because it's like that's the content creator YouTuber mindset, and I've kind of brought it to when I now I'm much more in the music industry involved. I yeah, it's the independence. I need that. I'd go crazy if someone else controlled my schedule or was like, you can do this, you have to do it, wait till here or do this then. And I'm like, hell no, like I want to have that full freedom to be creative if I need to when it comes to original stuff or content and really not worry and to have fun and not meet any kind of quotas. Like I do posts, I do videos, I don't care. Like people, who is doesn't like me or who is like, fuck him. Like I'm doing something fun that's relatable that comes from that sense of being passionate about what I'm doing. So I'm like, I'm not an inherently dickish person, right? So like I usually don't worry if it's like even if I react to something or talk about something like and I'm into it and if I'm not a fan of it, like I'll explain why and I'll be critical, but I'm not gonna be like fuck this is terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's not helping anybody when you do that.
it doesn't yeah.
How do you feel about the whole? Because I feel like there's a shift, like a paradigm shift in music, where I feel like you might be in that kind of thing as well, where now most musicians release singles when until they have enough to release an album,
Yeah.
versus like conceptually when like Iron Maiden was making a conceptual album, Power Slave. How do you feel about that? To you, it feels good to release singles at a time, or you prefer this album structure?
Oh yeah, I think I hate the album structure of like because when it comes to singles, it's like to me that's content and it's like you want to get better. So like I want to release a single, learn what works, learn what didn't, and then take that knowledge for the next single. It's like
Yeah.
I want to build and get better and better. Whereas that's the problem with a lot of bands is like, well, the album's done and it's like mixed and mastered, and then release the first single. Well, if people aren't about it, you have to wait till 2 years until you can take that knowledge and take that criticism or take whatever back with you and understand how to format the rest of your content or your album that works. And also I just like a nice steady flow of content. There's so much new music that if you just release the whole album, like it's forgotten in a week now. Like it's crazy. So I like being like, here's a single, let's make it exciting. Let's do a music video. Let's really put time into it. Like it's a proper, like it's content in that
Yeah.
sense. So that's always my preference. And then it depends how big your band is. Some methods work better than others depending on how big you are.
You like to be more dynamic, right? It's like you want to
Yeah.
be reactive with your fan base and kind of you almost it sounds like you like taking criticism because like you said, it makes you grow and learn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love taking criticism. I mean, sometimes it's it's taken 8 years. You gotta grow your tough skin because it's still the internet, and some people
Yeah,
just be
man.
dicks for no reason. Even now, and that's it's fine. It's how it goes. But when it comes to actual criticism like that, I do take to heart, and it's you gotta bite the bullet, you gotta take it, and I can tell when it's like I've had a few videos where I could tell when the like and dislike ratio is like much more off, and it's like, oh, okay, and it's like very obvious, and people are commenting similar things, and they're not. You can tell they're not having a malicious intent,
Hmm.
and I, you learn, you adapt, you don't do it. I know one of them was I was reacting to one of the Slipknot songs, and it got blocked. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do more of this different style. I'm going to do highlights where I cut the song into pieces, and you just kind of see the big, best parts of the reaction. I'm like, that's kind of cool because then you don't even waste time. And people didn't like that. They were like, we want to hear the song kind of go through,
Yeah,
or we
yeah.
don't want to hear the song at all. And you might as well just sit there and talk about it, do a review. Um, and I straight up deleted that. I uploaded the other one after it wasn't blocked, and it got claimed. I was like, whatever, I don't care. And I just kind of, that's one of those cases where like I took an L, but I was like, that's fine. I learned. Well, probably won't do that again or try to do that again. And it's one of those things. Like same thing. Well, kind of similar, but like even the new Bring Me the Horizon, it's like I knew that was going to get copyright claimed, couldn't get around it, so I was like, okay, let's try to do a review instead. And maybe how I went about it, people were expecting a reaction and they weren't as about it, and I'm like, okay, like you know what, next time I just that's fine. If I can't do it right, like there's no point of doing it
Yeah, I
in that
agree.
way. So like I just, hey, Bring Me comes out with something. Sorry, it's like I'd rather just not do that than give something that people aren't about, right? So like that's what I like. I like it. It sucks, but like I like it because it lets me know what I need to do, how I need to grow, and what people want when they're watching my channel. And where we coincide, me as again a metal and music and YouTube consumer, how do I coincide with the people watching so that we can both get the best of both worlds,
Best of both
basically.
worlds. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, you kind of answered this question a little bit, but I've always been curious with all YouTubers, not just like musicians and reacting. It's like, how do you approach content in terms of this kind of necessary and fun? Because I feel like this, even content I create, like metal reviews at my level or album lists, interviews, they don't get as many views as doing a reaction to Nemophila, right?
Yeah.
But I enjoy doing it so much that I just don't give a shit. It's like, do you have the same approach to it as well?
Yeah, I used to be much more just like, I blended a lot more. I'm like, well, this is gonna get big, so I'll just do it, even if I don't really care. Now do stick much more to what I'm excited about, and some of the things. It's great when it aligns to, oh, this is hype, and I'm excited about it.
Hmm.
Because again, I'm a metal fan. Like that's a lot of this is psychology and human behavior. It's like new ADTR. Like I'm genuinely excited about that, and I'm sure it'll do big. And look at that, I was genuinely excited about it. It was a good song, and it did big. And I was like, all right, well, there you go. You hit that, perfect trifecta, and it goes well. And I think that's important because you get bored. Like that's the big thing for me right now is focusing on trying to level up like always, and trying to do things. And even now, like it's I'll switch every different week. Like I feel like maybe I've done a little too many just reactions. I got to bring back some of the
Hmm.
original content a bit because it's more exciting. That's what people seem like they want. And even for me, like I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe I've done too much of just the reactions. Let's do some of this other stuff. Let's bring some covers. Let's do some guitar playthroughs and mix it in. um, and again, you got to adapt and see what happens. And then that's something I've always done is I'll have phases of like maybe just mainly reactions, maybe just guitar covers, maybe just more original content, maybe just commentary stuff, and hopefully level up in those ways and get feedback and criticism, because these are things I want to do at the time, and it's fun, and I like variety as well. And then I'll go back to a different one and I'll notice, like, oh, I'm back at mainly doing a bit more reactions. Oh, wow, they're doing better than before. Like, I didn't even notice the channel leveled up while doing the other stuff. And also maybe my content and my editing style leveled up by trying different stuff. So that was my big thing, is trying to find content that is engaging, that I'm having fun doing, that all builds within itself. And even now, like I know I have a weird mix. Like I literally did 10 levels of math rock followed by Lorna Shore reaction. And I'm like, that on paper does not work next to each other, like an
Yeah,
upload
yeah,
after the next. But I was like, I don't know, like as a consumer, like I was excited about the math rock thing. That's why I wanted to do it. And I know I have a weird sect, like just people just like that too in the metal scene. I don't know why. Like it's a weird combination that I never thought would blend, like math rock stuff and like deathcore and shit. I'm like,
yeah.
all right. Uh, and I had the math rocks video, and I had the Lorna Shore reaction, and they did both did great. Like it wasn't like people were sad because now it's heavy stuff, or people were the opposite, like, oh, what's this soft shit. Like the metalheads like that. And that's something I thought was really important, was to build a sustainable thing which I could have all those creative different outlets like math rock stuff and deathcore and different types of music and guitar related things, and commentary related things all in this place. So when people follow me, even though it's a tougher grind to grow subs and all that because it's
Yeah,
more of a
yeah.
variety based thing, it's more sustainable. It's like, okay, you're subscribing to this, you're going to get a bit of this, and this, and this. Um, which again makes you grow a little slower, because if I just did the one trick pony thing, like I'm sure if I am just the heaviest riffs dude, or like was just still the cover guy, actually, maybe I'd have a million subs. I don't fucking know, right? But it's like
And you know, there's a burnout to that too, though. It's like I've seen some
there's
channels, they burn out and they disappear because they just did this one thing, they run out, and then what are you going to do after that?
Yes, because exactly, that's something I was noticed, like I knew was going to happen with. And I have series, like I have a lot of these little series, and I'm sure my viewers have caught on which are the series now. I have the 10 level series, I have this scene in 5 minutes series, I have all these series which I revisit. But if those series were the only focus, I would get burnt out, I'd run out of ideas, there wouldn't be innovation anymore, no matter how hard I tried. And that's it. It's even if it grinded up faster, the fall would be just as quick. And that's also something funny is I keep track of my analytics to a point. And my channel is the weirdest thing. I even talked to some of my reps and stuff, and
Yeah.
and they're like that. Like I work a little bit with like YouTube and stuff, like very minorly, and
Hmm.
like they're even shocked because most channels you have the big ups and downs and big ups. Like you'll have 15,000 subscribers and then 10K and then 5K or this, and it depends on your videos and how one gets viral.
Yeah.
My channel for the last like 7 months has had a stagnant exact midpoint of 14,000, like 13 to 14,000 subscribers every month. One of them was like 13 or something. And I was like I've never seen that before. Like this, I have an exact, steady, stable amount of growth every month of how many subscribers I'm getting. And I'm like, that's
What?
weird.
That's weird. Yeah,
That's weird. Where's the I used to have the valleys and peaks, and then when I kind of did more of the variety thing, and I get it was just like the people that were watching were sticking around for everything, and then but then it was just a smaller pool of people that would do that, which again, so the growth is a little slower, um, but it's like the people that are there actually like are there. Like it's not just oh I'm only here for the cover or like I'm only here for this. Like usually like a typical subscriber will watch a cover, a reaction, maybe a meme video I do, maybe a
yeah.
commentary thing, right? Or at least a couple of them. It seems much more rare that they're just there only for reactions or only for this, which is again it's crazy. It's rare. It's harder to build that, but it's more sustainable for me and I think for my audience because they do get that variety
Well,
usually as well.
they come for, I think you've talked about this before, but they come for your personality. It's like people like Tank, they like charismatic voice, they like Alex, they like you, they like who you are as a person, and then they are invested in everything else that you start doing.
Right.
Even when they disagree with you, might have a reaction that they just like, man, I hate your reaction, but I love the
Right.
way you talked about it.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, that's great too. I take the approach of every time I do content, I pretend Nik Nocturnal is not uploading it. I try to do that just to see, like, because I want it to be good content. Like, if not, I would just sit there and do nothing. Like, to be honest, I would just sit there and do whatever is easy and like, oh, I don't know what to do today. It's not really content. I'm just gonna sit here and do nothing and hope it gets views. Like, still try to keep in that mindset. But yeah, people that are around just because they like me or what I do, like that's awesome. I'm glad they enjoy my dumbassery.
I was just gonna go actually, that's my last thing I was gonna mention here is this idea of it took me a little bit time to sink in certain styles, like especially No Life Shack and you come to mind because you have very vibrant personalities.
Mm,
I'm a little bit more subdued. I've always been like the analytical. I'm like, well, this is how I feel. I mean, I'm like, I'm
right.
more down. And you have this explosive personality, and I didn't get it at first. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? And it's like, as you start watching, it's like, oh, that's just who he is. It's his personality, who he is, and you start like enjoying something that's different from you. And
Yeah.
I still have trouble looking into a camera and talking into a camera when there's no person, because like this feels weird, and you're so comfortable doing it.
Oh yeah. I mean if you watch any of my older videos, like it was just like
Uh,
I was awkward as fuck. Like even 2 years ago, like I'm awkward and like it's obvious, but like I'm figuring it out. And
Mhm.
I feel like within then the last 2 years it's just I got comfortable. I've heard every insult on the book. Like I don't care if like if you're spending your time watching, like I want to make you have sure you have a good time and you're laughing or you're engaged or you learn something, and that's it. Like if you don't like it, that's like that's fucking chill. Like at least, and it's much easier for me just to be comfortably me instead of worrying about like oh should I do this or should I act more this way. Like
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
nah, you're gonna get what the Nick you get that day if there's a crazy breakdown coming, and I'm gonna be excited probably. I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna throw down because that's just what happens. And if it's more of a serious talk, maybe I'm in a serious mood, and it's like that's the Nick you're gonna kind of get, and I'm not gonna play it up or fake it. It's just that's how I'm feeling, and that's the thing too with my reactions. Like usually, if it's a song I'm excited to hear, I'm much more excited. Like than like if you caught me listening to that song the fifth time,
Yeah,
right? Or if
yeah,
you
yeah,
caught
yeah.
me on a day with like it's oh just here's a new song. Okay, I'm not going to be jumping up and down and having a crazy time. I'll just be like this is good. But like you hear me where it's like yo I've been waiting for this release. It's out. Let's go, and I'm stoked. get the adrenaline pumping. First listen, hell yeah, I'm gonna be a little extra excited, right? It's just how it goes. It's how
That's
it
how it
goes.
goes.
But yeah, it's a weird thing, man, being, doing this stuff and figuring it out. Even now, like every day I try to figure shit out, and I'm like, should I do this, or should I do a bit, more of this type of content? Or maybe, like I said, my latest one was done a little too many reactions maybe recently, which is cool. They've been great. Maybe let's try to expand a little bit with some of the other things that also people follow me for, and bring some of those series more into light. While again, I'm still working on, like, Nik Knock is now coming out in a couple weeks apparently. Next Terminus single is going to be in September, early September. Like, it's like this is all stuff I'm also working on that people don't see, just behind the scenes, and people are usually shocked. Wait, you have a project, you're a band? People are still shocked I play guitar.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah. They don't even know that.
They don't even know I play guitar. I'm like, I mean, that's cool. Thanks for watching the reactions, I guess, man. You know,
Yeah, I gotta say, have had this happen many times in interviews, except for last week when I got to interview Carl Sanders. I think he was a little drunk, so it was a little it was a little
nice.
difficult to talk to him. But I always get this feeling after an interview is you start liking the person more, what they're all about. And I think that happened today with you here as well. I don't want to hold you for longer. I know you're a busy guy, but I wanted to tell you that I come away even appreciating more Nick than I did before the interview.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, and
And already, it's like I already liked your style and kind of your approach, and that was just like, oh, he's as chill as I pictured.
yeah. That's the thing. I'm usually a pretty chill dude, and then when I'm ready and the adrenaline's running, I'll get way more hype, and I'll go. Same thing with streaming on Twitch. Like there's some days
Yeah.
you'll come in when I'm streaming, where people will come in and be like, "Oh, Nick's pretty chill right now." Where's the caveman noises? I'm like, I'm just chill, man. It was a longer day, just kind of relaxing. And then there's other days where, like, I'm hyped, let's go. It's on Tuesday because that's like the first day of streaming of the week for me, because I do like Tuesday to Saturday, and then I have like Sunday and Monday to recharge. So I'm like, Saturday I'm like dead usually, and then Tuesday I'm hype. I got like my stream deck ready with like the Root Sandstorm or like Gandalf sax, and like just like I'm just going. I have the energy, and I'm good to go. So it's yeah, it's just again, it's me, and people might not like it, and that's totally fucking nothing I can do. But all I know I can do is try to make it the best content I kind of can, and quality control, and try new things, and not get too comfortable with. Even now, like I said, like I've been doing a lot of reactions. I got a little comfortable. I'm like, all right, no, let's get me uncomfortable. Like I don't like that, because I want to be able to think more. I want to innovate. I want to build off what I do and keep doing that. And then when you do the stuff that you can like farm, quote unquote, then it's like, then it matters more. It has more of an impact. It means more. And that's something I feel like I've, that has definitely differentiated me from more of like the reaction based scene. A lot of those dudes are my homies, but I know reactions, people can get sick of them, and then sometimes they get comfortable and they don't want to innovate and try new things with their content,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it gets fucking boring. Like it's as simple as that. It just gets boring, and then they get bored, and then it's just, you can tell they're just copy pasting everything, and just hoping people watch, and then saying they got shadow banned if people don't watch. So
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's based on the comments, even the couple comments I got on my video about your song, and then going to your page and seeing your comments below. It looks like fans are on board with it. So
yes,
I think you're doing the right thing. I think, and it's just nice to see another person's progression, whether it be you or all the other people that I mentioned before. And again, I don't want to keep you any longer. I really appreciate you doing the interview.
yeah, no worries.
It feels, you know what, it's like some interviews go I'm sure you've had this before, they go very easy. You feel
Yeah,
like you're talking to a friend, and sometimes it feels like you're just fucking just pulling information out of somebody.
I,
So
I,
this was
yeah.
very easy.
Yeah, I'm glad, man. No, I know that very well. I know that very well, and I'm glad it's easy and chill, and yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.